What comes to mind when you hear 4,000 years ago? Perhaps the height of ancient Egypt, the sounds and smells of the Nile, a society of people not so different from you and I living their normal lives. Maybe 2,000 years ago, the height of the Roman Empire, a time of emperors and the birth of democracy, but also violence, destruction, and war. Many lives upheaved and ended by the sword. But now, it's all gone. Relics from a distant time remain, but the memories, the jokes, every stubbed toe, every insult, every wrongdoing someone might have regretted has been forgotten. And so it makes you wonder, does anything really matter? Because on a long enough time scale, everything is reduced to zero. Anything you have done or will ever do will be forgotten with enough passage of time. The average human lifespan globally is about 73 years old. The improvements in medical care, diet, and many other factors has increased this substantially in the past 200 years. But yet it's still nothing. On the scale of the universe, our lives will be so inconceivably short, it doesn't even make sense to quantify it. The theory that the universe is 13.7 billion years old, and that we are essentially at the very beginning of time, makes no sense in the context of a human life. And so here we are, creatures from the mud and water of our planet alive for a time so short it's almost cruel, yet at the same time, it's beautiful. Every person at some point in their life will become self-aware enough to ask, why am I here? What's the point of all of this? And in asking these questions, we begin to form theories. Perhaps we were created by a benevolent God with a destiny to fulfill on its behalf. Or maybe we've evolved over billions of years from bacteria to the human form we call ourselves today. Or maybe we're living in a computer simulation made by an inconceivably intelligent race of space aliens. Whatever the answer is, nobody has been able to provide a satisfactory answer. All we know is that everyone's life is finite, and that when it's your time to go, you will turn back into the mud and dust that you came from. And understandably, death brings much anxiety to people around the world. The finitude of our lives, coupled with the fact that our expiration date is unknown, is pretty scary. But perhaps there is comfort to be found in nihilism. Nihilism as a school of thought was popularized by Friedrich Nietzsche, and he proposed the idea that life has no real intrinsic meaning, that we're not placed here with a greater purpose to fulfill. No medals to earn, no prophecies to uphold. We're just creatures born to a rock that are barely intelligent enough to be self-aware of their own futility. And on the surface, nihilism is a profoundly depressing and negative way to view the world. The idea that nothing matters, that if you decide to get out of bed or not today won't make a difference. That if you just walked out into the woods and never came back, the world would continue to spin. But think about it. Everyone is entitled to their own beliefs, but there are constants that for all intents and purposes are independent of your existence. If I lay on the floor for the next week, the sun will still burn. The winds of Jupiter will continue to howl. The earth will still spin. And in a way, it doesn't matter what we do. Life goes on. But why does this have to be a negative thought? Instead, let's consider a middle ground. Optimistic nihilism. It has all of the same thoughts about the lack of meaning in life, yes, but now with the freedom to do whatever you please. There may be no guiding principles inherent to the universe, no guidebook for us to follow, but we'll do precisely that. Write the guidebook, create principles and value independent of societal theories. In 1,000 years, the odds that anyone will remember who you are or what you did is slim to none. Virtually every person that has ever and will ever live will not be remembered. And that's fine. The freedom of anonymity is a gift rarely appreciated. To know that you can do whatever you want and it doesn't matter what happens. You can move to that city, become that musician, climb that mountain, and if you fall down, it doesn't matter. Life goes on. This is where the real beauty of optimistic nihilism comes into being, because traditional nihilism would argue that literally nothing matters. The pain you feel, the atrocities across human history, all of it doesn't matter. After all, on a long enough timescale, it will all be forgotten. But we are human. Even if it will be forgotten, breakups still hurt, rejection is still painful, failure is humiliating, even if it's brief. And we also feel that it's important to make an impact, to elevate and do good by people in this world. Even if nihilism says it's pointless, standing by someone's deathbed and being with them in that moment is personally meaningful. We have morals, ethics, things that make us feel emotional, and to disregard their impact would be contrary to the human spirit. We must recognize that even if life goes on, that the cosmic events of the universe continue with or without us, we are still human. And who knows, maybe all of this really is a simulated reality, in which case even stubbing your toe technically doesn't matter. But it feels like it matters. We like to believe that we and the things that we experience are real, that we are self-aware, that we are special. But admitting your own ignorance is equally important. We cannot possibly know everything, nor can we know the answers to questions that may not even warrant an answer. There may be some questions that simply do not have an answer. Why do we exist? Why does time exist? What is existence? Perhaps these are questions that sit at the tail end of every child's endless curiosity. We've all asked our parents, but why, a million times, until their patience is exhausted. Who is to say that is not the same situation? Humans crying out to a universe that is indifferent to their curiosity. Nihilism could be completely false. There very well could be intrinsic meaning bound to all of us. But there also might not be, and we may never know which path to take. So be humble in your pursuit for purpose. Recognize the limits to your understanding, but also have fun. Do what you want. The universe as we know it may last for literally forever, but you don't have that much time. So try to make the most of it while you're still here. If you enjoyed the images in this video, check out my Patreon, where you can get access to all of the images in their full, high-quality resolution. Link below. I'll catch you later.